Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 583 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. It's fun to get to connect with you every week on Monday and Friday. I think it starts the week off right and ends it on a high note. Okay, so have you guys ever had a day where things just seem to be veering off the rails? Maybe it got off to a rough start in the morning and just kept going from there. I've been thinking about this a lot this week, experiencing it too, but really more thinking about it and not letting the bad days or even the bad moments that we experience win. So how do we keep those rough patches from derailing us? Honestly, the reason why it was on my mind this week was the other day I was at the gym and I was just doing my thing, working out, when I saw this guy wearing a t-shirt. Now, I don't know about you, but I am one of those people who I have to read every word on someone's shirt. If you have a t-shirt on and it says words, I think you want me to read it. So I'm going to read it. I can't help it. Even if I have to squint or look like a total weirdo, I'm reading that t-shirt. Anyway, this one said, "Don't let the bad days win." And I was like, yeah, don't let the bad days win. I love that. And I couldn't stop thinking. I was like, whoa, that is really something that I want to remind myself I want to tell myself that all the time. Maybe I even thought about that t-shirt a little bit too much. But when something hits you and makes you feel a tiny bit better or a tiny bit stronger, there's nothing wrong with letting it marinate, right? Because who doesn't have bad days? We all do. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be a whole bad day. Sometimes it can be just a bad moment and we recover. It could be a bad hour, a bad morning. But if we're not careful, those moments can sneak up and they can grab hold and then they can turn into a whole bad day or worse, a bad week. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, picking up speed, and before you know it, you're buried under it. Have you ever done that? I have. This last Monday was almost one of those days for me. It was one of those days where I didn't have any appointments. I didn't make any appointments for that day. It was just kind of a blank slate. I knew I was going to walk the dogs and I knew I was going to exercise later that afternoon. But some people might be like, oh, that sounds like a great day. Except for here's what happened. I did do my morning routine, but then I started kind of just lazing around because I didn't have somewhere I needed to go. And I started scrolling on my phone a little bit too much. And you know how that goes because scrolling makes me, I don't know about you, but it makes me feel kind of lethargic and dazed. And also I feel a little icky when I do it. I don't even really know how to explain it, but there's always some article or post that makes you feel like you're not doing enough or news that's designed to scare you. It's not usually a lot of good that comes from scrolling too much. Okay, so here I am having this day and I'm already feeling blah. And then what do? I do what I've talked about doing before. I go on a mission looking for something sweet. Now, normally there's absolutely nothing in my house. We do not keep things that will derail our nutrition. We don't keep junk food around the house. But this time, my sister-in-law, bless her, she'd brought homemade peanut butter cookies when she came over the other night for dinner, and we had leftovers. Now, Eric, my husband, was like, babe, maybe let's not keep those in the house so that we don't eat all of them. Smart man. But did I listen? No. I froze them thinking that I would outsmart myself, but spoiler, I did not. So I remembered them and I dug them out of the freezer. And next thing you know, I'm eating 2 cookies on a Monday morning. Now, not the end of the world. I know that. But now it was like, okay, not only do I feel sluggish and lethargic, now I feel guilty. In that moment could have been it. I could have let it spiral, and because that's how it works, right? One bad choice leads to another. Now, I was this close to canceling my gym class that afternoon. I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I'll just stay home. I'll watch a movie and I'll call it a day. But then I stopped and I thought, you know what? Hold on. If I keep making choices that make me feel worse, how am I ever going to feel better? Right? So I made a deal with myself. I'm going to put on my gym clothes because sometimes just getting dressed is half the battle. And I dragged myself to that class. And you know what? It was the best decision I made all day. My friend was there, so I didn't let her down because we meet there for that class. And we got to chat and laugh, and the workout was really tough, but in a good way. So it got me moving, it got my blood pumping, and just like that, I was out of my funk, literally just like that from moving. So I came home, made Eric a really healthy dinner, and he got home a little late, and I made him salad and this red lentil spaghetti, which was surprisingly good, and also gluten and grain free, which is wonderful. So if you ever want to try that, red lentil spaghetti, it's really good. Anyway, the night ended so much better than it started, all because I didn't let those bad moments win. I didn't let them snowball. I stopped them. And that's the thing about bad days or bad moments. They don't have to define you. They don't have to set the tone for everything else. You have the power to hit reset. It's not about being perfect or never having a bad moment, because we are all going to have them. It's about recognizing when you're slipping and make one small choice to pull yourself back. It's never about perfection. It's about how you deal with the things that come up. So here's kind of what I've been thinking about since the t-shirt moment. Like, bad days and bad moments, they're going to happen. Life is messy like that. But we get to decide how much power we give them. For me, it's about catching myself in those moments and asking, okay, what's one thing I can do right now to feel a little bit better? And sometimes it's going to the gym. Sometimes it's maybe picking up the phone and calling my sister or my friend. Or, sometimes it's just grabbing a water and going out back with my pups and hanging outside for a minute, leaving my phone inside. And this, there's something to be said about getting out in nature. Isn't that? It's just so calming. But when you're in that spiral, the number one thing I could say is to try to move your body. It does not have to be a full-on gym. You can go for a walk, you can stretch, whatever. Movement shakes things up, physically and mentally. It's like telling that bad moment, you don't get to run the show. Not anymore. And another thing is, be kind to yourself. I ate those cookies, and yeah, maybe it wasn't my best moment, but beating myself up about it, it wasn't going to help. Instead, I acknowledged it, moved on, and made a better choice later. I made myself a green smoothie. And that's the key, not letting one slip up define the whole day. It doesn't mean you get to go just crash on junk food the rest of the day. Now you're making it all worse. My challenge to you today is to notice when you maybe you're starting a bad decision spiral. Maybe think about that, and in real time decide to do one thing that makes you feel better. The key is to be aware that you're doing it so that you can fix it before it does become a snowball. For me, it's just always keeping that thought close to mind to not let the bad days win. That thought, it helps me get focused on what I can do to shift gears. And maybe that might work for you too. Share this with someone who may need to hear this today. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together. And I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.